Guys, just heeding a forewarning for you. There have been a lot of scammy emails sent out lately to YouTubers. Do not download anything from a website you never heard from, okay? I've been doing sponsorships for years and I've just been getting a load of them lately. Just ignore them, okay? Anyway, guys, so I wanted to talk about a subject that has been on my mind lately, you know. It's been 3 months since I left hypnotherapy, and you know, seeing a couple clients, not too many, and kind of seeing where life takes me, my personal experience. I love the number 3. It's worked for me marvelously in terms of seeing where my life goes. So I like to beta test things in 3s, like 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. So I gave it like 3 months. I'm like, let's see where my life goes in 3 months. And it certainly feels a lot more peaceful. And am I glad I invested over 10 grand in this schooling? Yes, I am. It was worth it. Did it provide me a lot more stress than usual as well? Yes, it did, but it also provided growth that I needed. I needed that stress. I was bored. I was literally here in this spot with a different wall color, in this spot, crying one day because I was so bored. I didn't have any like personal, deep connections, friendships with anyone. Pretty much a year ago now, like literally as I speak, and I was just finding out about this school because I saw Alba Weinman on YouTube, and then I was like watching her videos, and then Dolores Cannon, and then I was finding that she went to that school, and then that's how I looked it up and researched it and all that, and called the school. Like, it was pretty much this time 1 year ago exactly, and it was like the most nerve-wracking decision of my life. Probably definitely the biggest. It was even a bigger investment than university. Like, I mean, I didn't even spend that much for university the first year because I had so many scholarships and grants given to me. But it was just like, should I do this? Should I jump in? I'm so bored. There's nothing I'm doing with my life right now. I don't know what to do. I'm going to be so busy. But you know, I was more fearful of being so busy. Like, that was pretty much it. Like, that was the only con that I had not to do it. You know, I had all pros and just one con. I was going to be so busy and stressed. And, well, let's put it that way. That was the least of my worries. It was more the stress of dealing with other people. But again, it just opened up so many doors. And I'm just wanting to talk about it, my journey a bit, because it's been crazy. Like, I discovered who I am, why I'm here, what I'm doing here, my purpose here, and things started to connect and make sense in relation to things I see in my dreams. Like, I just woke up this morning from another dream that I had like literally 100,000 times of me just roaming in some like school halls and libraries. Like, I'm always near some books and in some school, and just roaming around and seeing different spirits or souls walking by, and they're adorned in like clothing like humans, but they're not humans, and you can never see a face. It's always like an orb. And I'm constantly in this school, and it's huge. It's like 2 high schools and a middle school combined. Like, it's enormous, and it is divisioned and sectioned off into different like schools, and it's very hard to explain, but I know it's the spirit world. It's at the very least the astral realms, you know. It doesn't have to be like near God level, but like, we do travel when we sleep and we shift. And some of you may disagree with what Tila Tequila says, but a lot of what she says is very true. I mean, she had this one vlog that I really resonated with, that made sense. That was Matthew Brownstein's teachings, which he's gotten those teachings just basically from everything he's derived from. And Matthew Brownstein's the guy who owns the hypnotherapy school I went to. So I'm connecting it here. And it's starting to make sense, like, how life is. And she went in to talk about how people are born. They think they're born into life once they exit the womb, but they're actually born into death, because you start to die basically as soon as you're born. because you're slowly starting to age, at that instant. So it's kind of ironic, like, that your cells are called cells because you're trapped here like a prisoner. Like, this is the prison, like Earth. Like, you can't escape, you can't just fly out of your own free will. And people have the false perception that they're truly free, but you're not free unless you leave here, you exit. And it kind of hit me hard because there was another celebrity that recently passed, and 2 days before she passed, I made a video about how people are being, like, silenced and all that. Like, I'm not going to go too into it, but I've had my own personal experience with someone trying to silence me. And, I would say back when I was more... the life that I don't want to lead anymore, but more like, how do you call it? More out there, let's put it that way, in the media and relevancy, and what other word can I describe it? Just wanting to have that lifestyle. Like, I used to want that so bad, and then I got it, and it's like, it just made me so horribly unhappy, and I felt so unsuccessful, ironically. I feel way more successful now, because success really is doing what you want, anytime you want, whenever you want, however you want, with whoever you want. And I could not do that. I was being controlled, manipulated, under contracts that I couldn't speak up about. I had people over my head telling me what to say, what to do, and it was no fun. It's a very controlling lifestyle, so that's why many of these celebrities choose to drift away, or unfortunately end their life because of that, because they can't get out of those situations. And thankfully, I didn't go down that path, and I managed to just barely get out before it got too late, too worse. And it was making me go crazy, and I spoke about it on my ASMR channel. I'm going to upload it soon, but basically there's a lot of people, and I know what goes on behind the scenes with these people and how they're connected, and it's like some people are just born on this earth just to take you off your path, like, and they don't even realize it. So whatever that means to you, always go with the God, with the light. Don't try to follow these people who are just controlling, demanding. That's not your path. If you feel just a sense of unhappiness, uneasy feeling, a sense of urgency, like, get out, don't go down that anymore, because it'll only bring you away from peace, unhappiness, okay? You can carve a path of your own without anyone's help. It's very, very possible. And yeah, let's just say there's also many people probably that you watch that you don't know too much about, okay? So, go with your feeling, go with your sense, and realize that we're here to kind of clear out karma, and we've all done things that is for our clearing. So until it's your time to go from here, you still got to work on some stuff. You're never truly free. You can be at peace with this prison, and that's your freedom. So live your life the best way you know how. Carve your own path. And to summarize, don't allow anyone to tell you ever what to do when it just only brings you unhappiness, okay? So that's what I learned in my journey. I realized that I have made mistakes and done things that has brought me into this life, and clearing that and taking the time to connect the pieces has brought me peace. And a year ago, pretty much today, I was sitting here not realizing that the boredom itself was a blessing in disguise, because it was my peace. I had nothing to worry about, I had nothing to stress about, and I was just only bringing about more pain into my life and suffering. And I needed to go through that to realize now I can sit here at peace, even if I'm bored. I can sit here at peace with the boredom. I can sit here at peace knowing I may not have developed as many deep personal connections as I would have liked within the past year. However, I'm at peace knowing I'm alone, I'm here, I'm still by myself, I have myself. And there's no one over my head breathing down my neck, telling me how much money to make, what to do, what to say, don't say that, wear this, don't do that, pay up this amount, you know, look at the K-pop stars. I mean, like, just disaster. I mean, be careful what you sign, be careful who throws a contract your way, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And I mentioned this before, I see these people time and time again getting into these things being manufactured over and over again, and I just feel so sorry for some of these people, some of these YouTubers. My heart goes out to them. Just seeing the situations, the circumstances they're being pressured into and put into, especially at a young age, and they just suddenly, you can't get that childhood back, you can't get that time back, and it's so valuable. And I'm like, wow, like all my teens, all my 20s are gone on the wrong people, and I cannot get that time back. So just heeding a forewarning. There's many people who speak up about this, but you can even see for yourself, like this celebrity that passed away, literally her last post was like, I won't be silenced anymore, and then so yikes. That's why a lot of us talk in metaphors, because there's a lot more that maybe some people don't understand that goes on, and I've seen it. I've been there, and have literally come across circumstances and people that you cannot even imagine what they're capable. Like, it just, you can't even grasp the concept of the capability of how they can just ruin people's lives. Yeah, so what can I say? Don't chase fame. It's fleeting, it's false. Don't go after something that just to hold on to, just to get to somewhere else. You know, like some people go after that kind of life thinking like, oh, I'll just save up enough money and then like escape and then go to the Caribbean. And sometimes you can't, though. Sometimes you can't. You know, you think you can escape, and then you get yourself in these heavy contracts and you can't. So this may not make a whole lot of sense, but there's a lot more going on than that I'm not even aware of. Like, I haven't even gotten that far. I don't want to get that far. I'm never going there again, to understand how it truly works. But that was my development, maybe my karma, maybe God just sent me there to witness what goes on in the darkness and then bring it to the light, you know? And yeah, you really do have to sell yourself to appeal to these companies and people constantly. I mean, like, you're just around that energy and you draw that energy to you, and it's not cool, it's not fun. Maybe I'm just drawing these scam emails to me lately because I just thought of it lately and I mentioned it in a video, and now it's like you're just drawing and attracting that energy back. So I'm doing my best to just let it go into the light, just realize, oh, you learned your lesson, you learned from your mistakes before, don't go there again, you know, don't just trust what anyone tells you, you know, in an email, like, oh, you know, you're gonna get this opportunity, you're gonna go here, you're gonna do that. Like, follow within, follow your heart, and that's God, you know, follow God, follow the light, follow the love. Whatever you love to do, do that. Don't do it for any amount of money. I don't care what people offer you. You literally have to slave for that, sell yourself for that. It's not worth it, okay? Sell yourself. like you, just you, in a good way. Like, you're the product. How about you not sell, that sounds bad, but like when you're promoting something, like how about you promote your services or what you want to push, like feeding the homeless, you know, donating to charities. Like, why should you slave and suffer for a product that is fleeting, the money is fleeting, the idea of it is fleeting, you know, and if you just don't like being a salesperson, why do it to begin with? So that's any advice for any YouTuber out there wanting to do this. It's an easy trap, especially if you have a successful channel. You just see yourself doing ad over advertisement for a company, and then it's just like you find yourself just doing that all the time. And does it really truly bring you what you want. Because coming out of that, I've had to work holidays even, and on top of that, I just hadn't had free days much at all in my 20s so far to just be able to say, hey, let me go do this, you know, at whatever day and time. And people think, you know, being self-employed, you can have the freedom to do it all the time. And that's not true. It depends on what you have to do, how many side gigs you have, you know. What else did I forget to mention at this point? You know, people worshiping false idols and all that stuff. It's just like, worship you, the oneness, the unity of everything. Enough with the just fakeness, the vagueness of everything. It's so empty, it's so shallow. That's why so many people are unhappy nowadays. Like, they're looking externally for things, they're looking for validation, and listening to criticism that does not serve them any good, you know, sometimes. And you just need to listen to your heart, okay? You know what's best for you ultimately, and no one can tell you otherwise. I think I rambled enough. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying to be more metaphorical so I can connect to as many people as possible, because I'm sure this relates to you in some way. Like, you've had a boss over your head, like, nagging you, oh my god, finish this job by June 15th or else, and then it's like, oh, I have to, like, literally sell myself to just sell this product and make my boss happy, and it's just like, sometimes it's not worth it, you know, especially if you're going to work stressed. And I spoke to someone who literally just told me, like, all they've been doing coming home on weekends is crying themselves to sleep and drinking because they're so unhappy with their job. And I was like, you can find another one, why not just leave? And they're just like, no, but the money's good. Okay, so you would rather the money than your health, right? Is it really worth it? So ask yourself that question, and when you're around that energy, you're just going to be around it even more. They chose, unfortunately, to stick with their job, and they're going to continue to suffer until they realize they've suffered enough and they can get the heck up out of it, okay? So thank you very much for joining me on my journey. I just wanted today to be a simple vlog type scenario, rambling about stuff. I'm going to try to do these vlogs every day, but no promises. Alright, bye guys.